Throne of Steel Episode 134. The Necromancer Demon God's Miscalculation. Long Haochen and the Eternal Tower's counterattack. Long Haochen had already decided. In order to survive, he might have to use the Eternal Tower again. However, now was not the right time. He had to find a way to stall Samigina, allowing his companions to escape. Han Yu saw Samigina, but didn't feel any pressure because the Necromancer Demon God's target was only Long Haochen. "Leader!" Han Yu shouted. Long Haochen anxiously gestured to Han Yu, signaling him to leave quickly. He knew that with Samigina's power, even the ripple from a single attack could destroy someone of Han Yu's level. Han Yu understood his leader's meaning. He and Long Haochen had perfect understanding. He knew that staying would only be a burden, so he immediately turned and flew towards the Jade Dragon Pass with the other Mithril Foundation Knights. The Knights believed that Long Haochen was a powerful paladin captain possessing a divine artifact. It was a knight's tradition for the strong to protect the weak. They had to return quickly so as not to burden Long Haochen. After his companions left, Long Haochen's heart calmed. He watched the ever-growing figure, took a deep breath, and put away the ripples of light. He slowly raised his left hand, which emitted a scarlet light. Long Haochen knew the ripples of light were useless against Samigina. They couldn't even withstand Samigina's full power attack. He also didn't take out his two divine swords. Firstly, they were in the midst of a heated battle. Secondly, the appearance of the divine swords would expose his identity, bringing a devastating blow to the Night Temple. The Demon God Emperor wouldn't let him go either. Long Haochen decided to rely on the Sun and Moon Divine Shield to resist Samigina, buying time for his companions. He believed his grandfather at Jade Dragon Pass must have noticed the situation. Unless absolutely necessary, he wouldn't use the Eternal Tower's teleportation ability. Samigina saw Long Haochen raise his left hand. His flight speed decreased. He had witnessed the power of that shield and dared not be careless facing a divine artifact. The sky behind Samigina instantly turned gray. A huge, ferocious demon head flashed. Gray air currents instantly engulfed Long Haochen. The aura of death was like the wailing of a resentful forest. All of this happened extremely quickly. From Long Haochen's retreat to Samigina's pursuit was only a few seconds. At this moment, Long Haochen cleared his mind and entered the sword heart lucid state. He was the child of light, the scion of God. After more than a year of seclusion and cultivation, he had no distractions in his heart. Samigina's death domain enveloped him. At this moment, the orange-red light on his left hand shone brightly. A powerful aura erupted from the shield. A huge orange-red halo within the death domain created a space belonging to Long Haochen. Samigina's pupils constricted. His flight speed decreased again. He had felt this aura before. It had injured the Demon God Emperor on the battlefield. Samigina had lived for over 300 years and had personally witnessed the light sword god Yi Wuxiang challenge the Demon God Emperor. Although Yi Wuxiang was not as strong as the Demon God Emperor, he had injured him with his powerful aura. Now, from Long Haochen, Samigina felt a similar aura. Although it wasn't as intense as Yi Wuxiang's, it felt more powerful. Yi Wuxiang's aura was sharp and persistent, while Long Haochen's was more transparent and righteous. Samigina treated him with caution because this was the first time he had encountered such a situation. In Samigina's view, Long Haochen, wearing epic-level Mithril Foundation armor and wielding a divine artifact, must be a 9th-rank powerhouse of paladin level. His assessment of Long Haochen's strength increased, especially after seeing Long Haochen's aura create its own space. At this moment, Long Haochen only had the sword in his heart. Although the Sun and Moon Divine Shield wasn't a sword, it didn't prevent him from unleashing his sword intent. A year and a half ago, his sword intent was a mist in his heart, barely showing the shape of a sword. Now, it had become liquid and taken form. Judging by aura alone, Long Haochen was comparable to Yi Wuxiang, lacking only in cultivation and comprehension. Although wary of Long Haochen's aura, Samigina was still determined to win. Eliminating a paladin who had comprehended sword intent was a great achievement. Moreover, the soul of a paladin was a valuable asset. Spiritual sheets exceeding 9 would produce a spiritual pill, which demons could transform into pure spiritual power. Spiritual pills were crucial for powerful beings. Humans were forbidden from extracting spiritual pills from 9th-rank powerhouses. Samigina attacked. A gray giant hand tore through the air, instantly growing to a diameter of over 10 meters, reaching for Long Haochen. The giant hand solidified from gray air currents. Long Haochen was fearless. He slowly lowered his left hand. The orange-red light intensified. The halo collided with the giant hand. Samigina followed up with his right hand. A terrifying aura of darkness and death surged around Long Haochen. The spiritual power fluctuations were intense, felt even within Jade Dragon Pass. Samigina's seriousness, although it lowered the frequency of his attacks, also revealed his true strength. He unleashed a powerful attack. A faint light flickered. A hint of cold divine light flashed in Long Haochen's eyes. At this moment, in his perception, there was only death and darkness. However, the liquid sword intent within his heart erupted with unparalleled speed. Long Haochen felt a soft ding resonate in his heart. The feeling was difficult to describe, as if something shattered and something new emerged, breaking through and then establishing itself. A wisp of mist instantly surged into his mind. However, he clearly had no time to pay attention to this. The halo that drifted out carried all of his sword intent. At Jade Dragon Pass, an intense blue-golden light was flying towards the demon camp at astonishing speed. Long Tianying was extremely anxious. He never expected Samigina to target Long Haochen. In their previous discussions, although they had considered the possibility of a demon god directly attacking, they thought it most likely that the 7 demon gods would attack at the very beginning. At that time, there would be strong individuals to defend. The possibility of a solo demon god attack was slim. After all, the forbidden spells were aimed at the demon god emperor's 3 main legions. Even if a demon god dealt with the first one, they would still need to mitigate the power of the other 2 forbidden spells to minimize losses. Who could have imagined that Samigina, the Necromancer Demon God, would ignore the forbidden spells and target Long Haochen alone? Long Tianying was filled with regret. He had thought of every possibility. Long Haochen couldn't have been recognized because his mount, weapon, and strength had all changed drastically. Samigina's attack could only be because of the divine artifact Long Haochen displayed earlier and his unique 4 spiritual wings. This led Samigina to deduce from his mount that he was the powerful human who had killed the 2 demon lords. The matter had come to this. Regret was useless. The only thing he could do now was try his best to rescue Long Haochen. Among all the Night Temple, among all the high-ranking officials at Jade Dragon Pass, only Long Tianying knew Long Haochen's true significance to the Night Temple. Moreover, Long Haochen was his grandson. In his heart, Long Tianying already felt immense guilt towards him. Now, seeing his grandson attacked by Samigina and trapped in his domain, how could he not be anxious? Blue-golden light trailed behind Long Tianying, creating magnificent flames. The God-seal throne of order and law decomposed behind him amidst the shining light. Streaks of blue-golden light continuously caught up with his body, transforming into pieces of armor that integrated with him. With each piece of blue-golden armor that covered him, Long Tianying's aura grew stronger. The sky behind him also brightened. Giving his all, Long Tianying held nothing back. Even if he was in the midst of battle, he had to save Long Haochen. Although Long Tianying's reaction was fast, he was ultimately slower than the closer and offensively active Samigina. By the time he set off from Jade Dragon Pass, the deathly grip conjured by Samigina had already grabbed Long Haochen's Star King. A strange humming sound rang out. A peculiar sensation erupted from the deathly grip. The originally powerful gray hand suddenly froze. Then, an orange-red glow spread, like boiling oil poured into cold water. The gray giant hand conjured by the deathly grip instantly shattered, transforming into gray mist. A rich orange-red light broke through the mist. In the silent night, A golden beam of light descended from the sky, shining on Long Haochen, making him and Star King appear incredibly sacred. The sun and moon divine shield expanded. The orange-red light refracted the golden light. The enormous beam of light shot straight towards Samigina. Samigina was startled. At first, he thought this mithril foundation knight wasn't that powerful, but he was quickly shocked. From the orange-red halo, an unparalleled force erupted. The aura actually tore apart the deathly grip, and it did so with the spiritual power within the aura, not Long Haochen's cultivation. The refracted golden beam was filled with a righteous, bright aura, causing Samigina's gray mist to dissipate, unable to withstand its impact. Long Haochen, within Samigina's domain, remained unaffected. This proved that the purity of his light attribute surpassed the purity of Samigina's darkness and death attributes. As the fourth-ranked demon god, how could Samigina not be surprised? However, this didn't stop Samigina's attack. Instead, it ignited his fighting spirit. Facing the golden beam, Samigina's eyes turned cold. He slowly extended his right fist. His movements seemed slow, but the timing was perfect. It collided with the beam. Boom! A gray vortex and the golden beam intertwined and surged. The explosive sound drowned out the music. 12 illuminating demon heads appeared, tearing the beam apart. Long Haochen had used divine descent, a power derived from the goddess of light. He channeled it through the sun and moon divine shield. Although less powerful than the goddess of light's brave heart hymn, in a pure clash of spiritual power, its might was greater. However, against a powerful opponent, divine descent couldn't fully exert its effects. Long Haochen's body trembled. He had used all his strength to resist the deathly grip and counterattack, but the difference in strength was vast. His powerful aura lacked sufficient spiritual power support and couldn't shine to its full potential. Samigina hadn't used his full power against Long Haochen. He saw Long Tianying approaching and sensed Long Haochen's cultivation level. The Necromancer Demon God understood that Long Haochen was only an 8th rank knight wielding a divine artifact. His cultivation wasn't at the 9th rank yet. He hadn't gone all out because of the sun and moon divine shield. It hadn't released its full power yet, so he needed to be cautious. The golden light shattered. The gray vortex engulfed Long Haochen and Star King. This was Samigina's ultimate skill, Cycle of Death. Long Tianying would need the power of his divine artifact to withstand it. But Long Tianying couldn't rescue Long Haochen in time because Hualifu, the bear demon god, blocked his path. Although Hualifu loathed Samigina's status, when it came to crucial matters as a demon god, he still knew what was important. After dealing with the first forbidden spell, he had instructed the other demon gods to weaken the power of the other two, while he himself blocked Long Tianying. Samigina's judgment of Long Haochen's strength was accurate. He believed he would surely succeed. Against the cycle of death, even if Long Haochen unleashed the power of his divine artifact, he wouldn't last long. After all, the difference in strength was clear. He waited for Long Haochen to be annihilated by the cycle of death, his soul merging into the death domain. The divine artifact would naturally be his. However, just as Samigina shifted his attention to the battle between Long Tianying and Hualifu, preparing to defend against Long Tianying's attack, something happened. From Long Haochen, engulfed by the cycle of death, a myriad of golden rays suddenly burst forth from his chest. In Samigina's eyes, this golden light possessed a terrifying quality because it was frantically devouring Samigina's domain power. Samigina's death domain originated from himself. Its power constantly increased, fueled by the soul power within the domain. These souls were refined into wraiths, enhancing the death domain's power. Among the demons, Samigina's death domain was second to none. Even Agaris, the moon demon god, and Marba, the star demon god, admired it. His position as the fourth demon god was solidified by this. Samigina had just used the most powerful 12 Wraith Kings within his death domain to instantly break Long Haochen's divine descent. He had cultivated necromancy to the pinnacle of perfection and wasn't afraid of ordinary light power. But now, he was truly terrified because the golden light erupting from Long Haochen's chest was frantically devouring the wraiths within his domain. The cycle of death was forced open. When Long Haochen reappeared in his sight, a golden pagoda completely enveloped his body. From the golden pagoda, an unparalleled pressure emanated. This kind of pressure was something Samigina had only felt from the Demon God Emperor. A golden light 10 times stronger than before burst forth from the golden pagoda. Faintly visible, platinum wraiths lunged out, frantically biting and devouring Samigina's death domain. It almost instantly spread throughout the entire domain. Samigina panicked. He naturally couldn't hold back any longer. 12 gray wraiths, shining with a dark golden light, shot out from behind him. Each one grew to 100 meters in diameter, frenziedly rushing towards the golden pagoda. The Necromancer Demon God sensed that if he allowed the pagoda to continue devouring, his death domain might be completely destroyed. He realized that this was a divine artifact that completely countered him in terms of attributes. In fact, the Necromancer Demon God Samigina was truly unlucky. If it were any other demon god, Long Haochen might have already been forced to teleport back to the Eternal Tower. The key was that Samigina was the Necromancer Demon God, specialized in necromancy based on the darkness attribute. He was the strongest necromancer on the continent. But he wasn't the strongest necromancer in the history of the Holy Demon Continent. Compared to the former Child of Light, who cultivated necromancy with the light attribute and became the Necromancer Holy Pope, a disaster for humanity, the everlasting scourge, Elais, Samigina was completely insignificant. Back then, it took the combined power of almost all of humanity to seal Elais and destroy his physical body. Yet, the Eternal Tower remained. Elais almost single-handedly confronted all of humanity. His terror was no less than the Demon God Emperor's, and he was even more destructive to humans. The everlasting scourge, Elais' necromancy, leaned more towards summoning, while necromancy tended towards destruction and devastation. Fundamentally, it was hard to say which was stronger. It depended on cultivation. Although the Necromancer Demon God Samigina was strong, ranked 4th among the demons and the strongest necromancer of his time, compared to Elais, he was far inferior. Elais, with his Child of Light, scion of God physique, even dared to blaspheme the goddess of light. His research into necromancy had reached its peak. Incorporating necromantic magic, he left behind the Eternal Tower, a divine artifact capable of traversing space, an unavoidable super artifact. If Elais were still alive, Samigina would be nothing more than a powerful soul in his eyes, not even qualified to be a one-on-one opponent. The difference in strength was clear. When Long Haochen activated the Eternal Melody, intending to return to the Eternal Tower, the tower, through its connection with him, immediately sensed the immense death energy and the sheer number of wraiths within the necromantic domain. For humans, this was a terrifying and destructive power. But for the Eternal Tower, it was an unparalleled tonic. The Eternal Tower possessed powerful autonomy and intelligence. Sensing the presence of this tonic, a projection instantly manifested in the space of the Holy Demon Continent, protecting Long Haochen and simultaneously beginning to devour this nourishing substance. Samigina was completely unlucky. If he hadn't overestimated Long Haochen and directly used the necromantic domain, but instead attacked him with his powerful spiritual energy, this situation wouldn't have occurred. As a super artifact, the Eternal Tower's attraction to and power over death attributes and wraiths was undeniable. Undoubtedly, the aura of light was also the nemesis of darkness. Samigina encountering Elais was like a young girl encountering a starving, strong man. The disparity in power left her only able to be suppressed. The 12 Wraith Kings frantically lunged at the Eternal Tower. This was Samigina's trump card, evolved over centuries by devouring other wraiths. They had previously even resisted the Divine Descent technique without exerting their full power. But now, encountering the Eternal Tower, the outcome was completely different. The 12 Wraith Kings were indeed powerful. The golden light blooming from the Eternal Tower could only make their bodies tremble, unable to directly absorb them. Their extremely condensed soul power, But when the 12 Wraith Kings pounced upon the Eternal Tower, the result changed. Previously, the golden light that seemed harmless to them suddenly intensified. The gold turned white-red. An indescribable, terrifying soul shockwave erupted from the Eternal Tower. The 12 Wraith Kings almost simultaneously let out shrill cries. Their massive and condensed bodies were shattered, transforming into countless wraith fragments scattering in the air. Waves of intense white-red light frantically spread, violently devouring these soul fragments. At this moment, the Eternal Tower's light completely broke through Samigina's necromantic domain, transforming into a boundless, overwhelming golden light that frantically surged back. It absorbed not only the soul power of the necromantic domain, but even the souls of the recently fallen Divine Emperor Legion soldiers in the demon camp. Their souls were also absorbed. This was the power of a super artifact. Even if it was just a projection, it displayed incredibly terrifying might. As a super artifact, the Eternal Tower possessed great intelligence. To truly control it, Long Haochen must pass all the trials left by the necromantic scourge allays, eventually reaching the top of the tower and accepting the inheritance of the necromantic saint. Only then was it possible. The Eternal Tower itself had strong autonomy. When it sensed something in this plane that could greatly benefit it, it would spare no cost to project its divine light onto this world, seeking to obtain the greatest possible benefit for itself. Earlier, when the 12 Wraith Kings lunged at the Eternal Tower, with its power as a super artifact, it wasn't incapable of harming these Wraith Kings, but it intentionally didn't do so. Because the Eternal Tower could sense the power of these 12 Wraith Kings. If it only attacked them from a distance, it would scare them away. The Eternal Tower was only a projection. It couldn't forcibly absorb these 12 Wraith Kings from a distance. Please give us a like and subscribe, fellow Taoists. Let's continue our chat in the next episode.